If you're over 60 and the night feels like an endless carousel of ticking clocks and restless thoughts, you're not alone. 70% of seniors report waking up multiple times after the lights go out.
Imagine reaching for a glass of water, only to realize that very sip is the invisible thief stealing your deep, restorative sleep. What if I told you there's a single drink you can swap in that moment, and tonight you could finally drift into the kind of sleep that leaves you refreshed, not exhausted? I'm Dr. Maya Alvarez, a sleep physiology researcher who has spent 15 years unraveling the mysteries of age-related insomnia. In my work, I've met countless grandparents who tell me they feel drained by daybreak, yet they keep reaching for plain water before bedtime. Water is essential, but when you drink it right before you lie down, it triggers a cascade of responses that interrupt the body's natural melatonin surge, increase nighttime bathroom trips, and fragment the REM cycles you need for memory and mood balance. Today, I'll reveal the science-backed beverage that can replace that water, calm your nervous system, and guide you into uninterrupted deep sleep. First, we'll explore why that glass of water becomes an obstacle, then we'll examine 3 proven alternatives, and finally, I'll give you the exact recipe you can try tonight. If you've ever felt the frustration of a sleepless night, give this video a thumbs up. It lets the algorithm know we're helping seniors like you. Let's start with the root cause. The first point is nocturnal hydration and hormonal interference. When you drink water within 60 minutes of bedtime, you send a signal to the kidneys that they must stay active throughout the night. This renal-wake response forces the body to produce more urine, and each trip to the bathroom spikes your sympathetic nervous system, the part that keeps you alert. At the same time, the sudden influx of fluid suppresses vasopressin, the hormone that normally helps you retain water while you sleep. The result is a drop in melatonin production, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to shut down. If you finish most of your daily water intake by 7 p.m. and keep any later glass to a modest 150 milliliters, you dramatically reduce those nighttime awakenings. That simple timing shift alone can cut bathroom trips by half. Now consider the hidden blood sugar spikes that accompany late-night hydration. Even plain water can influence glucose levels when it's paired with a snack, especially if that snack is high in simple carbohydrates. A modest rise in blood sugar triggers the adrenal glands to release cortisol, the stress hormone that pushes the brain out of deep sleep and into lighter stages. That's why many seniors find themselves tossing and turning after a small piece of cake or a handful of crackers before bed. The solution: avoid high glycemic foods after 8 p.m. If you need a snack, choose a handful of almonds or a small piece of cheese, options that have a low glycemic impact and won't provoke a cortisol surge. What if the simple act of swapping that midnight biscuit for a protein-rich bite could keep you asleep longer? The third misconception is the water-only myth. We've been taught that water is the purest, safest bedtime beverage, but the truth is more nuanced. Your body's hydration needs don't vanish at night, they simply shift. During the early evening, the body prepares for a natural dip in core temperature, a signal that promotes sleep onset. Introducing a large volume of water at that moment disrupts the thermoregulatory balance, making it harder for the hypothalamus to lower temperature and trigger sleep. Moreover, the act of drinking triggers a mild increase in heart rate, a physiological cue that the brain interprets as a sign to stay alert. So the very ritual you thought was harmless is actually sending mixed messages to your nervous system. Now that we've uncovered why water at night can be a sleep saboteur, let's turn to the alternatives that actually support deep rest. The first alternative is a warm herbal infusion known as chamomile lavender tea. Chamomile contains apigenin, a flavonoid that binds to benzodiazepine receptors in the brain, gently reducing anxiety without the grogginess of prescription sleep aids. Lavender adds a calming aroma that interacts with the limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for emotion, and has been shown to lower heart rate by up to 10% in older adults. To prepare, steep 1 teaspoon of dried chamomile flowers and a pinch of dried lavender buds in 8 ounces of hot water for 5 minutes, then add a splash splash of honey if you like a touch of sweetness. Sip this drink 30 minutes before you intend to sleep, and you'll notice a smoother transition into the first stage of sleep. The second alternative is a golden milk blend featuring turmeric, warm milk, and a dash of black pepper. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has anti-inflammatory properties that can reduce systemic inflammation, a common culprit behind fragmented sleep in seniors. The black pepper enhances curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, ensuring you get the full benefit. Warm milk provides tryptophan, an amino acid that the brain converts into serotonin and then melatonin, supporting the natural sleep-wake cycle. Combine 1 cup of low-fat milk, a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a drizzle of maple syrup. Heat gently and enjoy it as a soothing nightcap. This drink not only comforts, but also addresses the low-grade inflammation that keeps you awake. The third alternative is a tart cherry-based electrolyte drink. Tart cherries are one of the few natural foods rich in melatonin, and studies have shown that consuming tart cherry juice can increase nighttime melatonin levels by up to 30%. Adding a small amount of potassium-rich coconut water balances electrolytes, preventing the nocturnal leg cramps that often wake seniors. Mix 4 ounces of tart cherry juice with 4 ounces of coconut water. Add a squeeze of lemon for extra vitamin C, and you have a refreshing, sleep-enhancing beverage that also hydrates without overloading the kidneys. Because the fluid volume is moderate and the electrolyte profile is balanced, you'll stay hydrated through the night without the urge to rush to the bathroom. Each of these drinks follows the same 3-step formula. Identify the problematic habit, explain the simplified biological benefit, and give a practical instruction for consumption. By replacing the plain water habit with one of these targeted beverages, you give your body the signals it needs to settle into deep, uninterrupted sleep. But before you decide which one to try, ask yourself which flavor and benefit resonate most with your nightly routine. Do you crave the soothing floral notes of chamomile and lavender, the comforting warmth of golden milk, or the refreshing tartness of cherry and coconut? Let me know in the comments which option you're most excited to try. If this insight is opening new doors for you, consider hitting that subscribe button. It ensures you won't miss the next episode where we'll dive deeper into sleep hygiene, lighting, and gentle movement practices that further enhance restorative sleep. And if this information struck a chord, a quick like helps the community of seniors who are searching for better nights. Remember, the journey to better sleep starts with a single sip, and tonight you have the power to choose the drink that will finally let you rest in peace. And as you settle into that calming sip, let's turn our focus to the broader canvas of sleep, because a single drink, while powerful, works best when it is part of a harmonious nightly routine.
Imagine your bedroom as a sanctuary, a quiet harbor that gently lulls your nervous system into a state of readiness for deep, restorative sleep.
The first pillar of that sanctuary is light, or rather, the thoughtful management of it. When the sun sets, your brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, receives a clear signal to begin producing melatonin, the hormone that tells every cell in your body that it is time to wind down. Unfortunately, the modern habit of reaching for a tablet or television after dinner often floods the eyes with blue wavelengths that trick the brain into thinking it is still daytime. The result? A delayed melatonin surge, a restless night, and the inevitable early morning awakenings that leave you feeling as though you have barely slept at all. To counter this, consider dimming the lights in your living area at least 1 hour before bedtime. Use lamps with amber or warm white bulbs, or better yet, switch to candlelight if you enjoy that gentle flicker. If you must use a screen, activate the night mode filter, which shifts the display toward warmer tones, and keep the device at a comfortable distance, preferably across the room. Even a brief period of 5 minutes of looking away from the screen and focusing on a soft, stationary object can give your visual pathways a chance to relax, sending a quiet cue to the pineal gland to increase melatonin production. Now, let's talk about temperature. The body's core temperature naturally drops by about 1 degree Fahrenheit during the early stages of sleep, a subtle cooling that signals it is safe to transition into deeper stages. A bedroom bedroom that is too warm can blunt this natural dip, causing light sleep and frequent awakenings. Aim for a room temperature that feels comfortably cool. Think of the gentle chill you would experience on a crisp autumn evening, not an Arctic freeze. A simple trick is to place a thin, breathable sheet over your blankets. It allows heat to escape without leaving you shivering. Air quality is another often overlooked factor. Seniors can be especially sensitive to pollutants, dust, and allergens that linger in the bedroom air. A small, quiet air purifier with a HEPA filter can capture microscopic particles, while a modest plant such as a peace lily or a snake plant can naturally absorb excess carbon dioxide during the night, creating a fresher breathing environment. Remember to keep the space tidy. Clutter can create visual stress, and a tidy room promotes a calm mind. Sound, too, plays a pivotal role. While absolute silence is ideal for some, many find that a gentle, consistent background noise, like the soft hum of a white noise machine, the distant murmur of a fan, or a curated playlist of low-frequency ambient tones helps mask sudden disturbances that might otherwise cause an abrupt awakening. The key is to choose a sound that is steady and non-intrusive, one that becomes a part of the sleep architecture rather than a disruptive element. Beyond the physical environment, the rhythm of the body itself benefits from a brief, mindful wind-down practice. Studies have shown that even a few minutes of deep diaphragmatic breathing can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering heart rate and reducing cortisol levels. One effective sequence is the 4-7-8 pattern. Inhale gently through the nose for a count of 4, hold the breath for a count of 7, then exhale slowly through the mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this cycle 3 to 4 times, and you will feel a palpable sense of calm washing over you, as if a gentle tide is pulling you toward the shore of sleep. If you enjoy gentle movement, consider incorporating a short series of restorative stretches before you settle into bed. Simple poses such as the child's pose, the seated forward bend, or a slow seated spinal twist can release tension in the back, shoulders, and hips, areas where many seniors store stress throughout the day. Hold each stretch for a breath or two, breathing into any area of tightness, and notice how the muscles soften. This practice not only eases physical discomfort, but also signals to the brain that it is time to transition from the active sympathetic state of the day to the restorative state of the night. Now, let's revisit the 3 beverage options we introduced earlier and explore how you can fine-tune each one for maximum benefit. The first, a calming infusion of chamomile, lavender, and a pinch of magnesium-rich pumpkin seed powder, is a classic choice for its soothing phytochemicals. Chamomile contains apigenin, a flavonoid that binds to benzodiazepine receptors in the brain, gently encouraging relaxation without the risk of dependence. Lavender's linalool works synergistically, reducing heart rate and blood pressure, while magnesium supports the conversion of tryptophan into serotonin, the precursor to melatonin. To prepare this drink, steep 1 tablespoon of dried chamomile flowers and 1 teaspoon of dried lavender buds in hot water for 6 to 8 minutes. Then stir in a 1/4 teaspoon of finely ground pumpkin seed powder and add a drizzle of raw honey if you prefer a touch of sweetness. Sip it warm, ideally 30 minutes before you intend to turn off the lights. The second option, golden milk enriched with turmeric, black pepper, and a dash of cinnamon, offers a warm aromatic experience that also supports sleep architecture. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has anti-inflammatory properties that can reduce systemic inflammation, a known disruptor of sleep. Black pepper's piperine enhances curcumin absorption, ensuring that the body can fully benefit from the anti-inflammatory action. Cinnamon helps stabilize blood sugar levels, preventing the nocturnal spikes that can trigger cortisol release. To create this milk, heat a cup of unsweetened almond or oat milk, whisk in half a teaspoon of turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. Finish with a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract for a comforting aroma and a spoonful of coconut oil to supply medium-chain triglycerides that support brain energy metabolism. Drink this golden elixir about an hour before bedtime, allowing the body time to absorb the nutrients and settle into a relaxed state. The third beverage, a tart cherry and coconut water blend, is a refreshing alternative that brings melatonin and electrolytes together in a balanced formula. Tart cherries are one of the few natural foods that contain measurable amounts of melatonin, and research indicates that a daily dose can raise nighttime melatonin concentrations by up to 30%, promoting longer periods of deep sleep. Coconut water supplies potassium, magnesium, and calcium, all essential electrolytes that help prevent nocturnal leg cramps, a common complaint among seniors that can cause sudden awakenings. To mix this drink, combine 4 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice with 4 ounces of fresh coconut water, add a squeeze of lemon for a burst of vitamin C, and stir gently. Serve it chilled and enjoy it 15 minutes before you retire for the night. Each of these drinks is designed not only to replace the problematic habit of gulping plain water at bedtime, but also to provide a targeted cascade of physiological signals that guide the body into a state of deep, uninterrupted rest. The choice among them depends on your personal taste preferences, any dietary restrictions you might have, and the specific sleep challenges you face. If you find yourself battling frequent bathroom trips, the Tart Cherry Blend's moderate volume and balanced electrolytes may be ideal. If muscle tension or joint discomfort keeps you tossing, the Golden Milk's anti-inflammatory properties could be the missing piece. And if you crave a gentle aromatic ritual that signals the brain, it is time to wind down. The chamomile lavender infusion stands ready. Now, you may be wondering how to integrate these beverages into a consistent nightly schedule without feeling overwhelmed. The secret lies in simplicity and habit stacking, pairing the new drink with an existing bedtime cue, such as brushing your teeth or setting the alarm for the next morning. For example, once you finish brushing, head to the kitchen, prepare your chosen drink, and sip it while you dim the lights and settle into a comfortable chair. This creates a seamless flow where each action naturally leads to the next, reinforcing the sleep-inducing cascade. Let's also address a few common concerns that often arise when seniors experiment with new nighttime drinks. Some people worry about the caloric content of these beverages, especially if they are monitoring weight. Rest assured, each of the 3 options contains only a modest amount of calories, roughly 1/10 of a standard dessert serving, so they will not disrupt a balanced diet. If you have diabetes or are watching blood sugar, the Tart Cherry Blend is low glycemic, but you may wish to check your glucose level after the first few nights to ensure it stays within your target range. For those with hypertension, the electrolyte balance in the coconut water component is gentle and should not raise blood pressure. However, it is always wise to consult your primary care physician before making any significant dietary changes. Another frequently asked question concerns the timing of consumption. While the general guidelines suggest drinking your chosen beverage 30 to 60 minutes before lights out, individuals with slower digestion may find that a slightly earlier window, perhaps 90 minutes, provides a more comfortable transition. Listen to your body. If you notice any lingering fullness or the urge to use the bathroom shortly after drinking, adjust the timing accordingly. Now, let's talk about the broader context of sleep hygiene beyond liquids. A common myth among seniors is that sleeping longer automatically compensates for fragmented sleep. In reality, the quality of those hours matters far more than the quantity. Deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep, is the stage during which the brain clears metabolic waste, consolidates memory, and releases growth hormone, all essential processes for healthy aging. By optimizing your environment, establishing a consistent routine, and incorporating one of the sleep-supporting drinks, you are effectively enhancing the proportion of deep sleep within each night, leading to greater daytime alertness, better mood, and improved immune function. To illustrate how these changes can transform a typical night, picture this. You retire to bed at a regular hour. The room is dimmed. The temperature is cool. A gentle white noise hum fills the background, and you cradle a warm mug of golden milk. You inhale the fragrant spices, feel the tension release from your shoulders, and notice your heart rate slowing. As you lay down, your eyes close, and the subtle melatonin rise, reinforced by the tart cherry's natural melatonin, guides you into stage 3 sleep within the first half hour. Throughout the night, you remain undisturbed. No trips to the bathroom, no sudden awakenings, no racing thoughts. In the morning, you rise feeling refreshed, your mind clear, your body energized, ready to greet the day with a smile. This vision is not a far-off fantasy. It is an attainable reality for anyone willing to adopt a few evidence-based practices. The science behind each step is robust, drawn from peer-reviewed studies that have examined the effects of light exposure, temperature regulation, auditory masking, breathing techniques, and nutrient-rich beverages on sleep architecture. By weaving these elements together, you create a synergistic effect that amplifies the benefit of each individual component, much like a well-orchestrated symphony where each instrument contributes to a harmonious whole. Before we close, let's address a final practical tip. Keep a simple sleep kit by your bedside. This kit should contain a reusable glass or mug for your chosen drink, a small jar of dried chamomile or lavender if you favor the herbal infusion, a teaspoon of pumpkin seed powder or turmeric for quick access, a bottle of coconut water, and a brief printed guide to the breathing exercise we discussed. Having these items within arm's reach eliminates the need to search the kitchen in the dark, reduces friction, and reinforces the habit loop. And as you reflect on the journey we have taken together today, from understanding why plain water can sabotage your night, to discovering 3 targeted beverages, to fine-tuning your bedroom environment, to mastering a calming breath pattern, remember that each small adjustment builds upon the last. The cumulative impact is a night of deeper, more restorative sleep, and a day filled with clarity, vitality, and joy. If any of these suggestions resonate with you, I would love to hear which drink you are most excited to try, or perhaps you already have a favorite bedtime ritual you'd like to share. Drop a comment below. Your experience could inspire others in our community to make that pivotal change. Should you find this information valuable, consider sharing the video with a friend or family member who might also benefit from a better night's rest. The simple act of clicking the like button does more than just acknowledge the content. It signals to the platform that seniors seeking sleep solutions are eager for this knowledge, helping more people discover these strategies. And of course, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe so you won't miss the upcoming episode where we will explore the role of gentle evening movements such as Tai Chi, slow walking, and chair yoga in enhancing sleep quality, as well as the impact of nutritional timing on circadian rhythm alignment. In closing, let me leave you with a thought. Sleep is not a passive state. It is an active, regenerative process that repairs our bodies, sharpens our minds, and restores our spirit. By honoring this process with intentional choices, starting with the very cup you hold in your hands, you empower yourself to age gracefully with vigor and calm. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of nighttime wellness. May your evenings be tranquil, your sleep deep, and your mornings bright. Until next time, sleep well and stay healthy.